Hi, welcome to a quick guide onto how to use the online database that we've got. So first things first, we need to log in. So I've created an account for this purpose. So we log in, so you all know your usernames and passwords. Often your computers will save the details anyway. So this is what you see. Your name will be here. And then we've got a few options. You only really need to use two, which are adding instructions and amending stuff. So first things to look at is these lists here. We've got three lists to look at. The first one is awaiting completion. I know it sounds absolutely obvious, but these are the jobs that you have posted and we have yet to complete. They're signed off each day, sort of at the end of the day. So these jobs were all created today, and they're in our system, and this is important. If they're not on this list, we don't know about it. So the next list is instructions completed. Again, sounds pretty obvious, but these are the jobs that you have posted and we have done. Now, all you'll see in this list is basically properties where boards are still currently at, not historical stuff where it's been changed to sold as it says here, or if it's to let or for sale. It will all sit here, and that's important because this is where you come, number one, to get a really good snapshot of exactly what boards you've got up. That's the whole idea of this database really, and also to quickly change the status of a board. And lastly, we got archived. Now this is the stuff, although these lists are tiny, these are the boards that have been collected, as you can see. So if you're a letting agent, say, and you've got a property that every 6 months you get a new tenant, so we keep going back to the same property, if you want to change that to let again, for example, it's really quick to do it from here. Saves you a bit of typing. So anyway, so that's these lists, but we're going to start by adding a new instruction. So obviously you click here. Now this is one of the areas we have a few problems with. It's which choice to make here. Now I'll run through each one. They're in no particular order, but we often have problems with this first one actually. It naturally is first in the list. There is no rationale over which order they're in. So sometimes it's chosen by mistake because people forget to change this option. But basically, anything with the word board after it is suggesting that there isn't a board there at the moment. So these first four options, there is no board at the property, and you either want a sold board, an under offer board, a sell agree board, or a let buy board to go up. So it's not changing slips, it's purely you need us to take a post, a board and a set of slips and do a new erection at this property. So that's the only time we use any of these first four. For sale, obviously speaks for itself. That is a for sale board required. Now the next three options, under offer, sell agreed and sold, I'm sure you can work it out, but this is where there is a board that says presumably for sale, and we are going to change it. So all we need to do is take or turn slips. So that's these three. Very often we're instructed sold board, for example, and the correct one that should have been chosen was sold, and therefore we're taking boards and posts where we don't need to, and vice versa. If people are choosing sold and we need a board, then obviously if you just choose sold, we're not going to have enough stock with us. To let, pretty easy. That's putting up a new to let board rather, and let buy is slips. Just let buy slips, not a board, just slips. And the last two, remove sign is obvious, and remove slips would be if you had a board that said either, let's say, sold or let buy, and for whatever reason the deal has fallen through and you need it to say for sale or to let, rather than instructing for sale or to let, if you instruct remove slips, that tells us, well, there's already a board there, and can you just remove the slips, and it would be worth just put in a comment here just to highlight the fact that we're changing it back to let or for sale. So that takes me on to this box, which is really useful actually. Here obviously we can type things in like erect on gate post to right hand. See my slow typing there. So that's really useful if your vendor or landlord has a specific request. So please put the information in there. But when we come to updating instructions, this is the second real issue. Can we delete this out if it's no longer applicable? So for argument's sake, if you've asked us to erect this on this gate post, or move it, or re-erect it, and then that instruction is completed, then a number of weeks later you ask us to go and put let buy on it for argument's sake, can you delete this information out if it's no longer applicable? Because it just can be confusing and can cause mistakes. So anyway, so we're instructing, so we're going to put a new board up, a for sale board, put whatever information you want there, and then really we're just looking for the boxes with asterisks in. There's no needs. We're local people. We know the area we're working in, so you don't need to, for example, put here we go. So I'm going to put High Street, and if you actually notice, when if your computer has the same function as this, it remembers what you've typed in, so that will save time. So we're going to put 10 the High Street. Say we were doing it in Southborough. There is no need to write Southborough in this box and then Tunbridge Wells in this box. We know that Southborough, Rust Hall are areas of Tunbridge Wells, and we know that other sort of villages, we just name the village, because otherwise again it can be confusing. So we would put Southborough here. We don't need the county, that's pretty irrelevant. We just literally need the number or house name, the street, the area, the village or the town, because again we're very aware of where we're working, and then the postcode. And again, this remembers, I'm just going to make this up, of course. Right, and the automatic position is awaiting completion. And then all we have to do is click save. So 10 High Street, Southborough, save. And then when we look at our instructions, that will now appear on the, if we go back to awaiting completion, there we go, 10 High Street, and when it was instructed. So there we go. So that's how to instruct a new property. The third sort of issue that we have is not using existing entries for updates. The idea is, as I said earlier, if we look at the instructions completed, this should be a really neat and useful list for you of all the properties you have boards at. It should tell you exactly what type of board is there, and it will also tell you when it was put up or when it was most recently updated. If each time if we put a for sale board at 1 the High Street, and then you put sell agreed on it, if you create a new instruction for the sell agreed and then you sell it as well, so it's sold, new instruction, sold, there'll be 3 entries for 1 the High Street on this list because you haven't updated the original instruction. So the idea is this one here, sold, we're going to open it up, so you just click edit, and then all the information you originally typed is there. So we need to do 2 things really. We need to change this. So let's say we want this board collected, so we're going to do remove sign. We don't need to write anything in there, it's all pre-populated, and once this job is completed it will come off of your current instructions and go into the archive section, leaving that list sort of really neat and tidy. So remove sign, and this is the thing that's going wrong sometimes. We need to do this because the dot here sits in its last saved position. So the last thing that happened at this address was we changed it to sold, and then it was completed and it sat in this list. To make it live again so we know about it, you have to click that, and then you click save. And as I'm sure you can work out now, that will now has disappeared from this list because it's no longer completed, and it will be awaiting completion. And unless the jobs, where are we? There we go, 99 London Road, remove sign. So unless it's on this list, we will never know about it. So it has to be made live and saved, and that will then ping a job to us, and we've got all these jobs to complete in theory tomorrow. And that's it really. The last sort of nicety is if you, I use this list because it's got more data in it. If you wanted to print out the instructions completed list, so you had an absolutely accurate record of where your boards are, when and what they're saying, you use this button. So you do this, I won't do it, but you'll pull up the instructions completed list and hopefully have a nice long list of properties. You click this button which exports it. You'll probably get a pop-up. Okay, here we go. So we're going to open it, and it should open into Excel. He says, there we go. So this is your list of properties. Okay, it isn't particularly useful here, but if you click on this top left hand corner, which highlights everything, and then double click in between the A and the B, it sizes everything, and then you can see all the data. So there you go. So that's a pretty useful tool, I'd imagine, if you wanted to know exactly the status of all your boards. So there you go. So that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions, please email, and I'm going to put this on YouTube, so you can look at it if ever you need just refreshing on how to use it. It's not really hard, and I'd say 90% of all the agents have got it absolutely spot on. It's just a few little problems still there. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.